Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. A few weeks ago I was driving this around town and I was pleasantly surprised with the fact that I had no brakes. I don't know what happened to the brakes. I just know that when I checked the master cylinder there was no fluid left in it. So this wouldn't usually be that much of an issue because there's no leaks anywhere else. The problem is I can't get the bleeders off. I don't know if I can show it on camera, but at the top, you can see the little shadow of it there, that thing coming out. Those are the bleeders. I can't get those off. They haven't been off in decades, from what I can assume. And the only way I can get them off is if I use vice grips now, because I don't have a wrench that fits it. It's a weird mix between 10 millimeters and 3/8. So, what I'm going to do is take all of the wheels off and take all of the brake assemblies off from the other side and see if I can get each bleeder loose. I got the first wheel off. Now I can take a peek at the drum. They really overbuilt these. There's 6 wheel studs and all of them were torqued down to 100 pound-feet of torque, so there's no way this wheel was ever coming off. Anyway, I can get a better look at the bleeder here. You can see it's already rounded off. I tried getting this off before. It was already kind of rounded off when I got to it. So someone else already tried this. But now I just have to get the piece below that off, which I ended up doing before. So just going to pull that off and I'll be back. I've got the bleeder off and in a vise. You can tell it hasn't been out in quite a long time. There's dirt all around the threads. So, but yeah, it's rounded off bad. And I didn't do, I mean, I caused some of that, but not all of that is from me. So, I'm just going to try with a vice grip to get this off. I know I have to order new ones, but I'm going to have to wait to do that. I just want to drive this around a little bit, so if I can get the bleeders loose, then I can bleed the brakes. That was really easy. I was listening to the last clip play back, and it just cracked loose, so that's one done. I don't think I'm going to clean it out, because all I want to do was make sure that they could come loose so I can bleed the brakes, because having a truck like this with no brakes, it's not really a good idea. So I'm going to put this one back together and put the wheel back on. The wheel is back on, as well as the brake bleeder. So now that's done. Time to move on to the rear wheel on this side, which a little bit of a tighter space. That doesn't matter though, I'll get it off. I've got the second wheel off. It's just sitting right next to me there. The rear brakes on this are different from the front ones. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get rid of that. It's like a, I'm not even sure what to call that, like a Y almost. Anyway, I got this loose too. Oh, let me grab onto that. That one was actually pretty easy because I figured out what size wrench it needs. It's a, what's that? 5/16. So that one was easy, and now I have to go across to the other side and get that one done. Wheel number 3 is done. It gave me a lot of issues. You can see the bleeder is pretty much gone on one side. I don't know how, but it managed to pretty much weld itself in with rust. So I've been attempting this one for like the last 20 minutes. I've got a pile of tools around me. But I can finally put the wheel back on because it cracked loose after a while. The brake assembly started moving before the bleeder did. But it's time to do the last wheel, and then I'll just have to wait for a friend to come here to bleed the brakes. Wheel number 3 is back on, and wheel number 4 is off. This one looks to be about the same size as all the other ones. Well, minus the passenger side rear. And I don't know why that one was different. It's weird. So I already know this is going to give me issues, so I'm going to take it out like I did with the first one. So I'll be back when that's in the vise. Bleeder number 4 is in the vise, and now I just have to crack it open. The last bleeder has been cracked loose. It turns, still a little bit of resistance, but these aren't going to stay in here forever. Once I can drive, I'm going to go get a whole bunch of parts to fix this. I need to make a belt tensioner at some point, new lines and everything. But for now, even having bleeders, just working bleeders, is really good. So I'm going to put this together and I'll put the last wheel back on and I'll be done. The last wheel is back on, and now that all of the bleeders are cracked, I'm still going to have to take all the wheels off again later. But for now, it's all done. I still have to wait for my friend to get here because I need 2 people to bleed the brakes, but that won't be for a few days, and for good reason. It's -8 outside Celsius. I can't feel my hands, and I don't feel like working outside anymore, so I'll be back whenever my friend is here. My friend is finally here, so now we can start bleeding the brakes. I'm going to do it in the same order I took them off, so this wheel will be first, and then it'll be the rear wheel on the other side, and the wheel opposite from where I am now. So I'm going to do probably the same way I did it before, show you the steps, for the first one at least. So when I get the wheel off, I'll be back. The first wheel is off, and now I can start bleeding the brakes. Pump it. Hold. Still a little tight. Well, we were doing a little bit of work on this one before, so it sounds pretty good now. So, on to the next wheel. Wheel number 2 is off, and we're bleeding it still. Pump. Hold. There. And see, we were just testing to see if there was a blown line or not. There's not, but there's brake fluid everywhere now, so. This wheel is done, now I just have to put the wheel back on and go over to the next one.
Just bleed it.
Third wheel is off. My friend just pumped the brakes, so let's see if we can bleed. Well, that one still has fluid. Pump. Hold. Yeah, that one's still good. Okay, well that wheel's done, so time for the last one. Last wheel is off, and it's time to bleed it. Pump. Pump. Well, that sounds better. Pump. Good. Pump again. Good. Cool. I don't hear any more air. So, all the wheels are done. Time to put this one back on, and I'm gonna go for a little test drive. Me and my friend went around for a test drive. All the brakes work. We did notice it pulls to the right, so I think I have a warped drum on this side. So that'll be something to think of in the future, but other than that, everything worked fine. If I tried to shift gears, the engine would stall just from the carburetor rebuild in the last video. But I still have to be able to drive this for a little while just to fine-tune it. So I'm very happy with how everything turned out. I still need new bleeders, but that'll come eventually. So hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.